I'm now.
Yeah, I'm recording.
I've
gonna
been
do.
recording for a while.
I'm gonna do a clap. All right, let's do this thing. 3, 2, 1.
I gotta say, that was the best clap we've ever done.
Yeah, because there was only
Because Phil's
only
not
the
here.
lag between me and you.
Phil's not here.
That,
That's what I was getting at. Is Phil's not here.
oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm getting lots of buffering on our
Buffering.
our YouTube.
What kind of buffering?
There it is. It's fixed.
What kind of buffering?
The kind you don't want.
Uh-oh. That's bad.
Buffering's bad.
Hello and welcome to episode 617 of the Player One Podcast for Tuesday, September 4th, 2018. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
The one who bothered to show up.
That's right. Not with us is a guy from Washington who's currently in Portland building Legos with Bill Mudron.
A good reason not to be here.
Yeah, that was filthy about. He's not here. He's building Legos. They got pictures.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah,
Makes me wish I had $1,000 to spend on something like that.
Yeah.
Put it down.
Yeah. So we're talking about video games here.
I've heard of them.
Greg. I know for many years
I've played video games.
you have played video games. No, you have been a fan of Streets of Rage, as have I, and Yuzo Koshiro's excellent music for that title. And it seems like we are getting a fourth Streets of Rage. It has been announced.
Doesn't seem like it. We're getting a fourth Streets of Rage.
Okay, we're getting it. Yeah. Publisher .emu is working with Lizard Cube and that company that made that Streets of Rage type game that came out a few months ago that I don't remember the name of exactly. They're helping make Streets of Rage 4.
This is exciting.
And we got a reveal trailer that does not have a whole lot of gameplay in it. We got some screenshots, and yeah, and it's coming. It's Sega sponsored.
I love that Sega's doing this, because it sounds like it's another example of kind of like what happened with Sonic, where Sonic Mania, where it's like, this fan thing exists.
Yep.
They've done a good job. Let's give them some money and our blessing and make a real game. So I'm excited. And you know what? I've seen a lot of people saying that they're not crazy about the way it looks.
I'm not. I'm one of those people.
Totally fair. Totally fair. It's sort of got that Flash style, that Flash cartoon style that some people aren't crazy about. I'm not too crazy about it either. However, I am absolutely ready to give this a chance because it's a new Streets of Rage. We've needed a new Streets of Rage for a long time.
Yeah.
I will play this. Hopefully it's great. Lizard Cube makes me excited because they did a fantastic job with.
I wonder then if it'll have like a pixel art.
I'm curious about that too, actually. Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
that'd be for sure. I think the character design just doesn't really. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I don't really mind the Flash game look like that. That look, I'm fine with. The character design itself is where I'm sort of lost on.
Yeah, it's different. I'm like I said, I'm not completely sold on it. Yet either. But
I didn't even really like the character design in Streets of Rage 3, to be honest. Like Streets of Rage 3 was a little. I really liked the tone of Streets of Rage 1. And then by 3, when they had the kangaroo, I was just like, what are you even doing? Wasn't that in the third one?
That was in the third one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Streets of Rage 2 is still the best. Streets of Rage 2 is still the king. So
I played the hell out of the first one. I just have good memories of
weird.
The first one. The first one was so fun.
It was great.
Yeah. And the music's great. And Yuzo Koshiro's coming back for this one.
Oh, have they finally announced that? They were hinting around it forever.
Oh, wait. He's in the history document that Lizard Cube mentions. or Lizard Cube has on their site, but they don't mention name outside
I think
that.
they were making it sound like they were going to have an announcement about that sometime soon.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah.
I mean, because you
But
can't really have
apparently,
Streets of
CJ
Rage
announced
without
it now.
you can't have Streets of Rage without Yuzo Koshiro.
That
I was
NDA
wrong. I was wrong.
meant nothing.
I was wrong. My announcement is not correct. It's in the history section.
Okay. Like your announcement.
I hope that it's true. I hope that it comes true.
Me too. It'll mean a lot, obviously. Although I don't know, because again, I would say that he was going down a different path with the soundtrack to Streets of Rage 3.
Yeah, I have the sound. So back in the day, another EGM story. Whenever like Ed would go to Japan, they would put out like a sign up sheet or like a list, and you would put like, if you wanted to get something from Japan, you could put it on the list, and then if they could find it for you, which was really EGM's Japanese correspondent would try to.
I was going to say, I can't see, and I didn't even know the man, but I have trouble visualizing Ed scouring Akihabara.
No,
for tchotchkes for all the kids back home.
Yeah, it was EGM's Japanese correspondent who would do it, and I said like Streets of Rage soundtrack CD, and then I got Bare Knuckle 3 the soundtrack, and I was like, oh, this is not what I wanted. And Bare Knuckle 3 or the Streets of Rage 3 soundtrack is not as good as the first two.
No. Yeah. Number 2
it's like descending order.
My favorite soundtrack ever. So
I like the first one.
Yeah, that's the game you liked.
Second, then third is way down there.
Terrible taste.
You're right, I do. But yeah, this will be interesting. Interesting to see how it goes. Apparently, there's like a demo playable at PAX.
Yeah, I've been meaning to look at. So, excuse me. We're recording early. I'm falling asleep. I've been meaning to check out any impressions on it, but I just haven't. I've been busy today, so
yeah. Well, what should we talk about next? Let's do Xbox All Access. So this kind of gets talked about with every generation. Like a rumor comes up that you're gonna be able to buy a video game system through your cable operator or pay like per month basis and get all access to everything. Well, Microsoft is doing that with the Xbox One. They're offering this little limited time thing called Xbox All Access, and it gets you either an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X for a monthly fee, and you also get Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold with that. So it's like $25 if you want an S and $35 if you want an X.
That sounds right.
And it actually plays out like if you take the current MSRP of these systems and you go for the 2-year period this program works, the financing works, you save like a little bit of money on the cost of everything.
And that's just is it the cost of the system, or do you save a little bit of money on the cost of the system combined with gold and
it's cost of the system plus the services. So if you had subscribed to those services for a 2-year period and bought the system,
I think it's a great idea. Not the first time it's happened, of course. Sega was doing that with the Dreamcast. Back with SegaNet. Right at the end of the Dreamcast life. But I think it's a fantastic offer. I wish it was available in Canada. I would consider it. Just to get an X. We were discussing this with some people that I work with, and we're sort of going back and forth on it. And one of the complaints I was hearing is like, yeah, but then you've got a monthly bill and you wouldn't be able to afford to buy games. But it's like, if you've got Game Pass,
right, you get new games every month, and you get first-party games too.
I was going to say, it's kind of, they've proven up to this point that they are committed to that. I mean, like all of their first-party releases are day and date on Game Pass.
Yes.
So I think it's a wonderful deal. I would definitely take advantage of it if it was available here.
Yeah.
It also makes me think that they're going to be announcing a new console soon.
You think?
Yes.
It's sort of like a prelude maybe to their streaming box, which
that's like I feel like it's the like you said, the prelude to something big.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. This had to have been in the works for a while. So Yeah, and you have to register. You have to do the whole thing. You have to sign up at a Microsoft store. So
Yeah.
that's the other
Are those hard to find, or I don't?
wrinkle. No, they're if you live in like a metropolitan area, they're not too hard to find.
Yep.
We have
People in the big cities get everything
at
first.
least one in Atlanta.
New York City.
Exactly. Remasters Onimusha Warlords
Who thought Onimusha would come back?
is coming, and I believe a couple weeks ago on the show we had a question about what series we would want to be revived, right. And I think Phil's answer was Onimusha, or I may have said it. Also, I don't exactly remember.
Phil's taking credit for it.
Phil's taking credit for it, and it's coming out like a day after his birthday or something like that.
The day after Phil turns 50.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's cool.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like that's reaching back far enough. Like I'm not. Yeah. I've never been a huge fan of like especially in the first year of a console. Like we saw this console generation, where first year of the console, you have a bunch of remakes from games that were less than like 18 months old, which was also something that irritated me with the Switch.
Sure.
But, if you're going back a couple generations, especially to, PlayStation 2 is one of the best consoles ever, and you're sort of mining that, yes, please. I'm totally cool with that.
Okay. This one's going to have some updates as well, including an easy mode.
Baby mode?
So. I guess, yeah.
I'm all for baby modes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, do you think this is testing the waters to see if they should do a new one, or
no?
No.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, there might be some element of that, but yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Let's we're going in a weird order here. Let's go back to talking about Microsoft for a second, because they announced their Game Pass lineup for September. And it includes Onrush.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this on the Twitter.
Yeah, that will be
kind of too little, too late.
Accessible on September 5th, if you have Game Pass, and it is a fantastic game that that everybody should check out. It got horribly neglected back when it came out in June,
and now this doesn't matter because they laid everybody off anyway.
Well, they didn't lay everybody off. They laid off the game director, who's now at he just joined another studio. Was it the Project Cars studio that he joined? He joined like another big racing game studio recently. So that's cool. And we also on Game Pass are getting Halo Master Chief Collection. They have updated that. They've given it some Xbox One X enhancements, and they allegedly have fixed the multiplayer problems that the game had.
My God, that game is never going to be fixed. Have we been talking about that game since it came out?
They said that they fixed it. They've done like 6 months or more of like a pioneer program for this thing. They claim they've fixed it.
It's just been out for so long.
Yeah.
I wish they'd release that on Gold, Games with Gold. I'd like to have a copy of that, but I don't want to pay for it.
And get Game Pass.
But then I have to pay for Game Pass.
That's right.
And I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Okay. It was cheap recently, or not recently, but when did I buy it? I bought it like a year and a half ago for like $7, $10, something like that. Really? It was like around Christmas time. They had it for super cheap on digital.
Was it at Toys R Us? Oh.
Yeah. No. I don't buy physical anymore. They had it super cheap. So I bought it. And Quantum Break is also going to be on Game Pass, a game that I really enjoyed.
That I still have never played.
I really quite enjoyed that. I think when it came out, it was judged as a third-person shooter, like a cover shooter. It was being judged against the Gears games, which it was never going to look favorable compared to that. It's not really. I mean, it's sort of a third-person shoe action adventure game.
Shoe action adventure?
Shoe action adventure. Yeah.
Isn't that the one that you have to watch like hours of video?
A new term. Yeah, that's the one with hours of video.
Yes. I love it. And doesn't a lot of it need to be downloaded? Like that to me is the reason why I got to remember to play it sometime soon, because otherwise I feel like it's not going to be possible.
That's true. It's like 100 gigabyte download. So get ready for that, Game Pass subscribers. Yeah. That's good. Nintendo made a couple announcements this past week. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Dragalia Lost. Let's talk about that for a second. It's their next mobile game, and it comes out at the end of September. And it looks pretty cool. It's a sort of joint project between Nintendo and Cygames. Cygames did Grand Blue Fantasy and Bahamut, or Rage of Bahamut.
Oh, that one was pretty popular.
If you play mobile games at all, you know what those two games are and what they've done in the market. And Cygames done a lot more games on mobile that never came out in the US. And this looks pretty cool, actually. I'll link to the direct that they did in the show notes. But it looks like an action game, and I'm sure it'll have all of the mobile trappings. I mean, it is by Cygames, and Rage of Bahamut was like #1 top grossing game for a long time. So I'm sure it'll have all your usual monetization strategies employed there. But it looks like a fun game. It looks like it'll be interesting. So I totally pre-registered to download.
Oh my god!
Download the. You get a free gift in the game. You get some currency and a bunch of stuff if you pre-reg with your Nintendo account, and then I pre-ordered it on the iTunes store. So
did you say pre-reg?
I said pre-reg. Yeah, that's a term.
That's how the kids say it today.
That's right. It's
These
not
days?
pre-order. It's pre-reg.
In the parlance of our times.
That's right.
I just love that everyone reads it as Dragula.
Dragula Lost. Yeah,
Dragula Lost. It's a real 90s throwback.
Yeah, someone should do a video with game clips and Dragula just to complete.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Nintendo also did a Nindies presentation and showed a bunch of
showed all the games. Yeah.
Showed all the games, including PC darling Into the Breach.
Which people are going, the people I work with are going nuts over that.
I know. Yeah, it was a big game on PC. Very popular game. It's from the creators of FTL, Faster Than Light. And apparently it's very good.
I kind of want to get it just because, like I say, I'm it's getting praised up and down to everybody that I talk to.
It is. For some people, it's like their game of the year.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That and the other game that I heard about a bunch yesterday while I was streaming was The Messenger.
The Messenger, yeah, the one that looks kind of Ninja Gaiden-ish, but also like switches between 8 and 16-bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm tempted to pick that up. Very tempted, gotta say.
They're on my ever-growing list of 2018 games that I've kind of come to grips with the fact that I'm not going to play most of them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Other games announced during this Nindies Direct were Hyper Light Drifter Special Edition, so that's coming. Towerfall, which contains all of the expansions there, and 2 characters from Celeste.
Okay.
Treasure Stack. We got Mineko's Night Market. What else? Levelhead. Oh, Untitled Goose Game is coming to Switch too. That game looks awesome.
Game looks like a streaming darling.
Annoy people as a goose. Yeah, it does look like a streaming darling.
I feel like a bunch of the people my kids watch on YouTube are going to be playing that for years to come.
Oh, I'm sure. And then September is going to be a really great month for indie games on Switch because we get Bastion, Undertale. What was the other one? Oh, damn. We're getting a bunch of games in September on Switch. Plus the Sword and Sorcery EP. Remember that game? Super Brothers. Comes out in October. Transistor's coming out in November, and there's a whole bunch more. I'll link to NintendoEverything.com's story on it. It's basically just the press release, but a lot of good stuff for indies on Switch.
As usual.
As per usual, yeah.
It's new to me.
Indeed. All right. Let's talk about Spider-Man.
Oh, man. Did you hear about the puddles?
I heard about the
what?
The puddles. Apparently,
PlayStation 4 can't keep all the puddles.
This became a big thing on the internet. Yeah, people compared screenshots and footage from a few years back and from the current build or whatever, or the final build, and the puddles were smaller. So apparently that's a big thing. But this sort of ties into the whole like looking for graphical downgrades thing that I just never, it just doesn't click with me. Like I know how video game development goes, and things like textures changing and levels changing, like that happens. That happens in games, right?
Yeah. I I don't know. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. It doesn't I shouldn't say it doesn't bother me. It bothers me if the change is not necessarily drastic, but if the change is too far to like to the bad so that the game just doesn't look good.
Right.
But
right.
otherwise, I mean, it's the same way I feel about things like frame rate. I don't care if something's running 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second. I care that it runs on a stable frame rate more than anything else.
Yeah.
So if it's running at a stable 30, I would rather that than an unstable 60. Like, and it's kind of the same thing with visuals. It's like, if it's good enough, it's good enough.
Right.
If it looks good on my TV, I'm totally fine with it. So, and I feel like that's where Spider-Man sits personally. However, I think that they're also victims of the amount of hype they put behind some of these games. We saw it with Killzone. If you remember, Killzone was the same way, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Remember that crazy?
Was it Watch Dogs?
Was it? It was the one that was
The
for
Division.
PS3.
Yeah,
and it was like they showed it, and I forget what the word I'm looking for. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's a target render video.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, great, but
that PS3, the PS3 Killzone video is especially bad.
Oh, it is. It's terrible. But again,
and there's a Digital Foundry takedown of that video, basically.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Whether it would have been possible at all.
I get I get it. I get people being pissed off, and for the most part, I'm like you, where I understand how game development works.
Yeah.
That I get why it happens, but at the same time, if you're going to get your target renders out there, you're going to get the really high end stuff that you might, that might not be final render quality, and you're going to hype it up to heaven and back.
Yeah,
you got to expect some backlash when what you actually release doesn't meet that standard. Like that's the risk you're taking when you overhype things like that.
That's true. I feel like in this case, complaining about puddles.
Oh, it's stupid. Don't get me wrong, but
maybe different than that, where we're talking, that Killzone PS3 thing that was never going to be possible, yet it got shown.
I know. All I'm saying is it's a slippery slope that you're going.
Sure.
When you show target renders from that far out. I don't even know if Spider-Man they showed target renders,
because we also this past week got a 45-minute or so video of Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I didn't watch the whole thing. I didn't even really watch most of it because while the entire universe is hyped for that game, I really don't want to see. I don't want to see it in.
I never watch any of that stuff.
Whatever state that it's in, because I know that it's not close to release, right? And apparently during the video, they even say the thing that you're looking at, or this feature or that feature, may not actually be included in the final thing. We're still tweaking or whatever.
Yeah, but see, again, saying that, I don't think I don't think that clicks with people that you might be talking about visuals, like
right.
They might be talking about specific gameplay sequences or something like that, or items or bit. I don't know. Yeah. Again, if you're going to show something that early, you are taking that risk.
Well, but then also,
I don't think you get too upset when your audience isn't happy about it.
Yeah, I guess in the case of Cyberpunk 2077, they could have been showing it on PC, where you can pump the graphics hardware as high as you like,
pump it,
and you're not going to get that on your on the system you bought from Best Buy 5 years ago or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Shame the people who can't afford high-end PCs, CJ.
I'm not. I don't have a high-end
or a PS4 Pro or one of your Xbox One X's.
Hey, it's more affordable than ever now with Xbox All Access.
Mm-hmm.
But
if you live in the city, the big city,
only for city folk.
City folk. I hope you got a cousin that lives in the city.
That's right. But yeah, I'm excited for Spider-Man this week.
Oh, is that what we were talking about? Is that this week?
It's
Oh
this
my
week.
God.
It is this week.
How did it become the end of the year so fast?
It's Friday is when it comes out. Yeah. I'm excited about it.
Oh, me too. I'm super excited about it.
I have it pre-bought. I have it ready for preload on the PS4. I'm ready.
Yeah, I got to grab that too. You know what else comes out this week?
What's that?
Well, I think it's this week. NASCAR Heat 3.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be good?
It's supposed to be.
Third time's a charm?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Cool. What's the big new feature in this one?
It sounds like they've gone back to career mode, like the kind that we saw in NASCAR Thunder and Dirt to Daytona back in the day, which is back when I was really crazy about those series. So there's team management. So basically, you can start in like local short track dirt racing and work your way up to the higher series, and you can actually manage a team, and you can decide to run drivers in other series and things like that. I know you don't care about any of this, but I'm really excited about it. Cool. And the videos they've been showing look really good. They look better than they have for the last 2 years. So I'm really excited. I love that company. I know a lot of the people that work on those games, and I really want this year's to be great. And it really looks like it's shaping up to be that way. So
cool.
So I'll talk about it all next week. I'm going to play that instead of Spider-Man.
Instead of Spider-Man,
or Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah, we're going to talk about NASCAR Heat. Yeah. See in the chat.
Sea of Thieves, I talk about NASCAR Heat.
Listener asked about having Seabake on to talk about Spider-Man. We would love to do that. In fact, I believe we already have something planned for that, or something tentatively penciled in.
We have plans for plans.
Plans for plans.
Plans.
Yep. That's right. All right. I think we should talk about what we've been playing.
Sure.
You want to go first?
I could.
Good. Do it.
I did a 12-hour Shinobi marathon yesterday.
How'd that go?
Went really well, actually. I raised $880.
Awesome.
I was shocked about. I was hoping for maybe $100 or $200 on the day. So I've raised over $3,500 so far this year for Extra Life.
Fantastic.
Means we're more than a third of the way to my goal of 10,000. So all that's great. It was cool to sort of go down memory lane with Shinobi games. So I was playing.
Now, how many did you finish?
I didn't finish any of them. I played. Yesterday or in general?
Yesterday.
None.
Okay.
I played the arcade Shinobi, which is a great game. Never really played it before. I played the arcade Shadow Dancer, which was pretty good.
Back on the Master System, the original.
I didn't have a Master System.
Yeah. Okay.
I played the 10-gen version on the NES.
Okay.
Pretty sure they released a Shinobi.
They did. Yeah.
Played Revenge of Shinobi. That's pretty cool. Discovered a new thing because I was playing an original because, of course, we had listeners send the game to me for the stream. I didn't realize that in the original version, when you die and go to the continue screen, there's an evil laugh that happens, much like Ganon laughed in the end of Zelda 2.
All right. Huh.
It doesn't sound like that, but it's, But no, anyway, I won't go through all the games I played. But one of the things, what I did play that I'd never played before was the Game Gear versions of Shinobi. And they're really good. Really good. I was never a Game Gear person. I never had one. What I did play of it didn't really do anything for me. But these were really, really excellent games. And they're all done in sort of a Sentai style. So you start with blue Shinobi, basically. Okay. And you have to save the other colors. And they all have different abilities.
Okay.
So like by the end of the game, you can choose between the 5 different color Shinobis.
By Sentai, you mean like a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers type?
They don't morph, but
but
so the blue Shinobi uses a sword, and the green one uses shuriken and can double jump, and the yellow one does something I can't remember, and the pink one throws bombs and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat because you're really getting into almost like a Mega Man vibe on the levels, and the levels are all built, especially in Shinobi 2, excuse me, the levels are all built to take advantage of their different abilities. So like you go in and you can only sort of do certain things with the original character, but then when you come back with all the different abilities, you can reach all new areas and you can like swing to new spots, and it's really cool. I really enjoyed it a lot. Way more than I expected. Also played a bunch of Alex Kidd in Shinobi World.
Oh, why?
Because it was a Shinobi marathon and I'd never played that. It was really good too. I also kind of fell in love with that game. So it was originally supposed to be remember Kid Dracula? Remember the Dracula game? It was meant to be like a cutesy Shinobi game originally, apparently, and then they decided to put Alex Kidd in it instead. And it was also to the point that the first boss was actually based on Mario. He looks just like Mario. And actually, I think it was EGM that ran a picture of the original version of the game where the boss had the mustache and everything like that too.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty neat. Anyway,
I don't think I knew that ever.
Neither did I until I was sort of doing the research for this. What else did I play? Played some more Tanglewood. It's getting really good. I'm hoping I'm going to finish that this week. Excuse me. Played Dark Savior, an old Saturn game that kind of a follow-up to Landstalker, but not really. Made by the same people who made Landstalker.
Okay.
For the Genesis. One of the things that I didn't really know about that game back when I played it in the 90s, it has like 5 or 6 different branching paths.
3/4 perspective, or am I thinking?
Yep, no, that's what you're thinking of.
Okay.
Yep, and it was funny because like it all takes place on a prison island.
Yeah,
and like in Japan, there, in order to trade for goods, you'd have to trade things like cigarettes and alcohol.
The chocolate bars.
Yeah, turned into chocolate bars and empty bottles.
Yeah.
And all the liquor turned into jalapeno juice.
I remember this. I previewed Dark Savior for EGM.
Oh, really?
Back, in the day on the Saturn. Yeah, and I remember that. Yeah, I played a bunch of it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. However, you do. The opening scene is on a boat and it's timed, and I never realized that based on your time. Like I figured some things would change. But apparently it completely changes the game. There's like 5 different paths you can go down.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. Which I never knew. So I actually want to go back and really play that when I get a chance, which will be never. But really enjoy what I played of it. I think that was mostly it for what I played this week. Played some more F1 2018, which I streamed to our Facebook page while I was playing.
Oh,
and I'm curious. I'd love to hear.
My wife said there's some big racing game that came out this week, right? I was like, racing game? What are you talking about? It was streamed on Facebook, and I looked at her like, what?
What? I'm curious.
Okay, F1 2018.
I'm curious if our listeners would like it if I stream some games to either Facebook or YouTube, our YouTube channel. Actually, I'd like to know which would make more sense for people.
YouTube.
Really?
Of course.
Thanks. Why not? Why? Why can't it be Facebook?
I don't know.
Do we have more YouTube subscribers or Facebook subscribers?
I'll check. I'm pretty sure YouTube.
I'll go with whoever has the most.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's YouTube. Probably.
So maybe you get to see something besides Sea of Thieves.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I don't stream that to the Player One YouTube.
People got to watch me race and then crash into a wall, so that was great.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
They could have thought that I was playing that.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a mic, so I was hoping people would think it was you. That's all I've been playing.
I still remember that time at PAX playing iRacing.
Yeah, you wrecked me.
I didn't only wreck you, I wrecked everybody. And then I won.
And then you won the race.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
But you did give me the shirt you won.
I gave you the shirt.
So that was okay.
So really you won. Everyone was so pissed off at me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's how I play arcade racers.
CJ rolls.
Go ahead and crash into everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alrighty. Is that all you've been playing?
That's it.
You don't want to talk about Deja Vu?
I played Deja Vu.
Okay.
Does anyone remember Deja? Do you remember Deja Vu?
I do. Yeah, Mac Adventure.
You played the NES game, right?
NES.
Yes. The Mac Adventure series. It was apparently the first in the was like Deja Vu, Uninvited, and Shadowgate all came to the NES eventually. But I played the original Mac version this week too. It was pretty neat. I didn't really have much to say about it. I used an FAQ to play through it, so
cheater.
There was a lot of shooting myself with drugs to combat amnesia, and a lot of punching people when they wouldn't do what I wanted them to do.
Okay,
that's really it.
All right. Well, I played a new game this week.
Yeah,
Strange Brigade, a 1 to 4 player shooter it's third-person shooter from Rebellion. And the theme is like a 1930s like high adventure serial.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's an announcer that talks like this: the Strange Brigade. Like, will the Strange Brigade survive this one? Et cetera, et cetera. And it's super fun. Like, you can pick from there are 4 characters that come with the base game, and for the first month they're offering a 5th character as a free download. So and I have the season pass, so I'll be getting
of course you do
characters as well. Yeah. And this is a game that I had never heard about until PlayStation Experience last year, when Adult Swim Games shared a wall with Rebellion's booth, and they were showing Strange Brigade, and I watched that demo and played the demo and just loved it, because it's like a co-op shooter that takes place in an Uncharted or Tomb Raider style universe with some cool guns, and you can activate traps, and there's all kinds of cool stuff happening. There's some light puzzle solving as well. So I picked it up on both PlayStation 4 and Xbox.
Good Lord, man.
Because I could play with Mike on PlayStation 4, and then
my good friend Mike.
I have a bunch of other friends that bought it on Xbox, so I bought it there too.
I saw my good friend Mike today while I went grocery shopping. I asked him how you were doing.
Yeah. What did he say?
I don't know. He's not my friend.
Exactly. But this game I played through like the first 3 missions, and Rebellion has a whole plan for DLC, and they're going to release new maps and such as well. There's a horde mode and score attack mode as well, and all of the loot changes up. So if you replay levels, you get new stuff. You earn gold in the game, and you can use that to unlock special chests that give you like special weapons that basically you can use them until their ammo runs out. So you spend 500 gold and you get a really cool weapon that has like an extra effect on it, like setting enemies on fire or turning them into icicles, etc. So, but it's pretty cool.
Sounds like Duck Game.
Yeah, it's exactly that. But
why not just play Duck Game?
Third-person shooter. You should, from Adult Swim Games. Love it. Yeah, Strange Brigade. It really didn't get a whole lot of press, which is unfortunate, but I encourage people to check it out. There's a developer playthrough of their E3 demo that does a really good job of explaining the premise and the gameplay elements, and I will link to that in the show notes.
Okay. So
then, of course, I played Sea of Thieves this week. In fact, this wasn't the week we played together, was it?
I think it was.
I can't remember. Did we do a Skull Fort?
Yeah, we did a Skull Fort. My first Skull Fort.
Your first Skull Fort.
Yeah, I'm no longer a Skull Fort virgin.
That's right. We allied up with 2 other galleons.
That was intense.
That was, yes, because we were on a brigantine, 3-player ship, and a 4-player ship comes up and wants to ally with us, and they also wanted us to run missions for them and earn gold for them, which we said yes to, even though we were heading towards the end of the evening and had no intention of playing like more than a half hour more. Got that done, got you your first Skull Fort, so high five on that. Internet high five. Yeah, what else? So they did an update where they added a couple of new things. There's a Reaper's Mark flag, which like points your position out to everyone on the map.
So shoot me.
There's please come shoot me, basically. So it's for people who really like PvP. Anyway, the day after this update came out, my daughter really wanted to play. So I logged on to a sloop with her, and these people flying the Reaper's Mark would not leave us alone. We didn't get sunk, but they kept chasing us. It was ridiculous.
Even though you didn't have the Reaper's Mark flying?
No, we didn't. We had the white flag.
Lame.
Yeah. The other update is now the cursed cannonballs that the skeleton ships were using. Now you can use them against other people.
Did you choose what cannonballs they are, or is it just randomized?
You choose what they are. You have to collect them in the world.
Okay.
So you have to gather them up, and then you can use them against ships. And as part of that, they redesigned the UI of the barrel interface.
So that you can choose which ones you're... See, but does that mean it takes longer to...
Yes.
I'm not a fan of that.
Well, in the Sea of Thieves community, this was a very...
it sounds
a bad change. This is a very controversial change. Yeah. So instead of having to hold the resource to put it in the barrel, you remember that, right? You have to be holding it to put it in. You press a key, you press the X button on the controller to enter the barrel interface, and then you can put things away or take.
They're ruining it.
And at first, I mean, it changes like something you have to do all the time on the ship. So obviously it's going to take a lot to get used to. It took me about a day before I got used to it completely. And it's not that big of a change to me, but man, people on Reddit and Twitter in the Sea of Thieves community don't like it. They don't like it at all. So Rare had to put out a statement on Friday explaining why they made the change and what is coming in the future that this change like lets them do. So one of those things is different types of food, and not just bananas, because now you open a food barrel.
Bananas.
Yeah. More types of cannonballs and who knows what else. A lot of other stuff. So we'll see how that goes. They're gonna tweak the interface because they're gonna add a store all and take all type of thing in there. Anyway, there was one other story that I wanted to share. This is from a few weeks ago when my daughter and I were playing, and we had our friend Mike playing as well. And the Megalodon showed up. So the Megalodon is a giant shark in Sea of Thieves. And my daughter, this was the first time
movies.
This is the first time she had seen the Meg. So she was very excited about it and asked, "What's the Meg?" So explained that it was a big shark that likes to eat ships, right? Like it'll eat part of your ship. It'll chomp a bite out of your ship. So we kept playing. We went to a couple more islands. Then we were leaving another island, and the Meg shows back up. So we're continuing to sail past the Meg, and my daughter yells out, "Eat ship," over the microphone. And for a second there, I was like, excuse me? Eat ship? But she said eat ship because the Megalodon eats ships. Yeah.
Your daughter knows more words than you think she does.
I know that for a fact, that she knows plenty of words. She also knows not to use them
around you
or at school. I hope.
Keep fooling yourself.
Well, if she ever like watches people on YouTube play games or on Twitch, she's gonna hear those words, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I've been playing. So let's get to tweets.
Tweet.
Alrighty, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Mark's Remark, who says, "What was a promised technology that you thought would be great but never caught on or was never very useful? The VMU was something I thought would be incredible but was rarely used for anything good."
Yeah, that's a great example, actually.
That is. Yeah.
Hey, VR for the Jaguar and the Genesis.
You thought those were going to be great?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What about the 3D gaming? You were big into that.
I was. I still think that was... yeah, you know what? I think that had way more to do with the fact that 3D televisions never caught on.
Possible. Yeah.
Yeah. I was big and I enjoyed playing games in 3D. I still would, except I can't get my system to run 3D now. I think it must be with. However, I've got everything set up now. Somewhere along the way, I've got something that just takes the 3D signals. Just like, nope.
Well, you have a PSVR, right? That's probably what it is.
Yeah, I can't get that to work though in
No?
3D. No, I know it should be able to, but it won't. But
Oh.
yeah, like there were a bunch of PlayStation 3 games that I played through in 3D. But yeah, I think that's a great example of that's a good answer to the question because I
Never took
I don't know
off.
if I thought it was gonna catch on, but I hoped it was gonna catch on.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to the point that like Uncharted 3, I played entirely in 3D.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was a 3D game.
There you go. Same with Motorstorm Pacific Rift. Was it
I
called?
did know that was
Yeah, and it was great. It was great
because they even sold that Sony sold a PlayStation branded television right around the time that Motorstorm
Those
game came
televisions
out.
sucked.
Yeah,
I bought one once.
Not surprised.
We were going to do a 24-hour stream at the place where I worked at the time, which I think was Frontier Developments, and we didn't really have good TVs in the office, and those TVs at that point were really cheap. So I went out and grabbed one.
They were,
fully intending to return it 2 days later, and like the speakers were crap, and the finish on them was so glossy that you couldn't have any other light source in the room, or else you couldn't see the television.
Oh God,
yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to say second screen gaming, and the reason being, what I thought the implementation like that Microsoft did, and Sony did, where it wasn't really true. So, like there was a lag between it. Wasn't great, but I thought things like Pikmin 3 and Splatoon on the Wii U, even though people love to hate the Wii U and hate the Wii U gamepad, I thought that those games in particular were really a good implementation, and I liked being able to look down and see the map in Splatoon like right away instead of having to hit a button. And same with Pikmin 3. Like I thought that was a great thing. It's just that people didn't like it, didn't like the Wii U. That's fine. So
I think there's more to than that, though, because I mean, second screen, like for something like that, it seems like it would make a lot of sense. But
yeah,
I think as far as the way your vision actually works, it actually makes more sense to have an overlay, a real time overlay.
Yeah.
It disappears.
Yeah,
but
I think
whatever.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I know. I'm used to it.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker alias Space Kappa, who says you're preparing a 3-course video game meal that sums up your tastes and preferences. What game is your appetizer? Which is your entree, and which is your dessert? This is good. This is very good. I'm gonna go with Gitaru Man as my appetizer. I'm gonna go with Super Mario Brothers 3 as my entree, and my dessert would be, well, hold on. Sea of Thieves maybe is the entree.
Jesus Christ.
No, and then which is the dessert? Probably Rock Band.
I would say Mega Man 2 is the appetizer. Gran Turismo, whatever the latest one is, Sport, is the main course, and or actually probably more like a Forza Horizon now is the main course. And Streets of Rage 2 is the dessert.
Yeah.
It's a cool question.
That is a good question. I like that.
Sea of Thieves is the endless buffet of warmed over mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I know. But I love it so much. All right. Hacker alias Jason Whitman says, what do you think is next for the Legend of Zelda franchise post Breath of the Wild?
What I hope is next, although I don't think it'll be next, is a more traditional Zelda game.
Yeah.
The further distance, I wasn't crazy about Breath of the Wild at first, which we had lots of discussions about on the show.
Yeah.
The more I played it and got into it, I started to enjoy it more and ended up finishing it. But distance from that game, distance in time, I really think I didn't like that game very much.
No?
I did not like that weapon system at all.
Oh, right.
And
destructible weapons.
The open world was super impressive, but I would much rather have a more linear in the style of traditional Zelda, which means you can still go anywhere, but there are certain places that, like, this is the thing you have to do next. Go do this thing.
But don't you think that now that they have brought out in a post Breath of the Wild world that we live in, can you release a traditional Zelda without like pissing people off? And I know there are people who love that traditional style, love that more linear, non-open world style, but I feel like they got so much love for that with Breath of the Wild that if they went backwards, they'd have to call it a side thing.
Nah, I don't think they would. No? I think if anybody could get away with it, it would be Nintendo.
You think?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There are people who played Breath of the Wild for hundreds of hours, and I played it for like 110 hours. I don't know that. I don't know that those people, including myself, are going to forget that. And I say that also wanting a more traditional Zelda, like what you're talking about. Like, but the way that I would rather have that is a Link Between Worlds style sort of thing, and bring that sort of side story or more cartoony, like directed Zelda to Switch.
Sure. I'd be fine with that too.
Separate series. As a like denoted, this is not a sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, I don't think they need to go that far.
You don't?
No, none of the Zelda games have been direct sequels to anything.
But I mean, not something that would look like Breath of the Wild. Something that would be like top down or
look different. Call it a Zelda game.
You could still call it a Zelda game. Yeah.
I think you're going a little bit too far in the other direction, but I think they can get away with anything because it's Nintendo and it's Zelda. And I mean, if you look at the first game compared to, there's been general Breath of the Wild, they really changed the feeling of the game altogether.
Yeah.
But I think they could easily step back.
Okay. Maybe you may be right. I don't know. They could certainly do a Breath of the Wild style game that had traditional dungeons and maybe removed the destructible weapons system.
I'd be okay with trying that too.
Yeah. And I think people would be into
traditional Zelda dungeons would require a level of linearity to a point.
Yeah.
Like you'd still have to tackle them in a certain order.
Yeah.
But that's still,
unless they were able to do something like
the rental system
where you rented. You rented things out.
True.
Yeah.
That could work.
That could work too. All right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Gunstar Gamer, who says, racing game question. Which did you like better, Baja Edge of Control or Gravel, and why?
I didn't play Gravel.
Okay.
So
Baja
Edge of Control.
We have your answer.
I think that's hang on, let me make sure that's the right Baja game. There were two Baja games and one of them was terrible. Yeah, Baja Edge of Control was the good one. I really, really enjoyed that game a lot. So, but no, I never played Gravel.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it on Game Pass? Might be on Game Pass.
I don't know. I don't have Game Pass. Maybe the show should pay for Game Pass.
Well, Microsoft is doing a Game Pass app. I can look it up right here. I'm a tester for their Game Pass app.
What?
That's right. Beta tester. See, Xbox Game Pass right there.
What does the Game Pass app do?
It looks up games that are on Game Pass for you.
Why does there need to be a whole app for that? Why can't it just be a piece of their store?
So, well, yeah, it is on the regular Xbox app, but then the Game Pass app itself has a recently added section, most popular,
That all
picks
sounds
for
like
you, featured, and you can browse by category as well.
that all sounds like stuff that could be part of the Xbox app.
And it lists things that are going off of Game Pass
That all
soon.
sounds very useful.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Hacker alias, I doubt this is an alias, Miguel. In the chat, no, I did not try Wipeout on PSVR. I don't have Wipeout to try on PSVR, and honestly, I'm kind of afraid to try Wipeout on PSVR. It feels like there'd be a lot of motion there that's going to make me a little bit sick, but I might try it someday. But I haven't.
Could be. All right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Does Machines, who says the puddle sizes in Spider-Man have been a hot topic as of late. Do you guys recall any ridiculous video game controversies back in the magazine days?
Hot coffee.
Hot coffee was a big, big one,
which I always thought was really insane.
Yeah,
that it was so controversial. I mean, I guess if nothing else, they should have removed the code, but it wasn't something that a normal person was going to buy the game and stumble across.
Yeah, when we were working in magazines, there wasn't really a sort of bullshot. I guess bullshots were a thing back then.
Yeah, they were becoming a thing.
They were becoming a thing.
EA was good at it. EA with their Madden, especially on a new console launch. When EA would say the next Madden's coming, it would just be like this unbelievable. You'd see this render where like the player looks so great, and you could see blades of grass, and that was like for like the 360.
Right. What was when the original Xbox was coming out? There was that snowboarding game that had a lens flare thing in the screenshots that we got for it. That was ridiculous. But even things like the Halo 2 E3 demo that was like basically, it wasn't completely faked, but kind of faked, right? Or it was held together with like chewing gum and spit. That it didn't really like compute as a controversy.
No.
Back then. I remember Metroid Prime, whether it was going to be good or not, was a huge controversy.
Yeah, that was yeah.
The is Nintendo doomed thing goes back to like late 90s. Like people, or even around the N64, were doing that. Nintendo doomed was a whole thing even back then.
Yeah, I don't remember anything.
Don't remember anything quite like this.
Yeah.
Then again, those freakouts were probably on Usenet news groups back in the day, and not really like shared with the rest of the world.
I guess maybe you could say that. I mean, I wasn't in magazines at this point, but the N64, there was a little bit of that because we'd all been sold so hard on the Ultra.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing the chat and hearing someone mention Killer Instinct, and Killer Instinct and Cruis'n USA were out.
Yeah.
And the N64 didn't look like that. You know what I mean? Like it was definitely a step down. So there's definitely some controversy there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was things like arcade version versus home version not looking as good. But
we were also
what?
We were also used to that.
We were used to that, yeah.
So yeah.
That's true. All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Coffin Colors, who says picked up the re-release of Shenmue 1 and 2 last week, and I'm absolutely loving it. However, I can't help but yearn for a proper remake, a la the yet unreleased Final Fantasy VII. Are there any games you think deserve a full remake but may never get one?
I'm sure if I had time to think about it, I'd come up with some.
I think Final Fantasy IX or Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah,
those are two that I thought were really good back in the day that I would love to see reimagined instead of just playing the re-releases.
Right.
Like given maybe a more modern battle system.
I'd love to see.
I don't want to see those games like the Final Fantasy VII remake that you mentioned in this tweet. I think they're overhauling the battle system in that way more than I would like. It just sounds like they're overhauling it completely. Whereas like if they remake Final Fantasy 6 or 9, I would like some kind of like new wrinkles to those battle systems, but not like an
I
overhaul where you
wouldn't.
have to like, yeah.
I tend to like most of those older games. I'd rather just see like a new coat of paint on them than like a remake. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Unless you did something like, and I think this was done in Japan, but they never came here with the remakes of the Fantasy Star games that they brought out for the Sega 20, was it 2500 series?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Because one of the things that they did with those is they rebalanced or you could choose to play with rebalanced difficulty and experience, which would make 1 and 2 in particular supremely playable.
Yeah.
Because they were good games, but they were really grindy. So, and way too difficult. So, for a more casual playthrough, like I would love to. I've never played through the original Fantasy Star, and I'd love to do it, but I will never do it with the original game because I just know I won't have the time.
But
And
I don't know if they're going to do the difficulty thing like you mentioned, but with the Sega Ages series coming to Switch, did you see what they're doing for the dungeon crawling sections?
No.
See the screenshots of this?
All 3D?
So no, so you have the dungeon crawling bit, which is a first person, like just going down a corridor, right? They have that off in one screen. And then off to the side, you can toggle this on, apparently, is an overhead view of the dungeon.
Oh, it's an auto mapping feature.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Fantastic.
Stuff like that, I'm crazy for. The idea of overhauling battle systems that weren't really broken.
Yeah,
I'm not necessarily crazy with that. Now, again, talking about the original Fantasy Star again, I mean, I could see doing that from a standpoint of in that game you couldn't choose who you attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd want to, maybe
that.
you could fix that if you come up with a group of monsters. Like I think the remake of the original Final Fantasy fixed a similar problem with the original system on that game, where if you chose to attack a monster that somebody else killed during the battle, you just swing your sword at nothing, right? Whereas in later games, it would move down a hierarchy and you'd attack something different.
Yes,
which I believe they fixed that. So yeah, like there are good updates and tweaks you can make, but to revamp battle systems, I'm not crazy on.
Also, bring back Lunar.
Just in general.
Yeah.
More people need to experience that game.
Yeah. Hacker alias P.O. Rowe says, if you were given a top spec PC, would you switch to PC gaming for a few years?
Probably not.
I'm going to say, yeah, probably not as well. I like PC gaming, although I'm terrible at mouse and keyboard. So I'm better on controller, even though that seems weird to say, even in shooters. But I like the convenience of a console. I don't like needing to deal with graphics card drivers.
I'm gonna go ahead though and say that with a top
like that,
I want to say with a top level PC,
you wouldn't have to.
You are so entrenched in the mid 90s when you say things like that.
I guess you're probably right.
Yeah, and you bring it up every now and then, and even to someone like me who's not a tech person and is not a PC gamer, you sound a little ridiculous because
fine.
You don't necessarily deal with that stuff anymore. Like if you almost anything on Steam, I don't have an amazing system, but I have a pretty good system. Like anything on Steam, you're not really sitting there fiddling with settings anymore. Those days are more or less gone. I'm sure you can if you want, and you can tweak things, but to get something up and running, you're not like messing with what was it that used to, you're not messing with like virtual memory and all that crap. Like you're just not it just doesn't happen anymore.
Sure.
Now going back and playing old games on your PC, good luck.
I like the ease of consoles.
Mm-hmm. I just like consoles.
Me too. Just like some people like PC and won't play on a console.
Mm-hmm.
Same sort of thing. All right. Hacker alias Zero Kaiser says, "Hi guys, we are already in September and didn't hear much about Nintendo's online service. Are they hiding a cool secret or is it a bad sign? Thanks."
Both.
I think the whole thing is this. They said second half of September. I think we already know everything we need to know about the online service. It's going to have cloud backups. You can play some NES games co-op over the internet, and that is it. Like I don't know that there's like what sort of big secret are
Netflix style NES library
people wanting? Are they wanting like an Xbox Live party chat system?
Because you heard what I just said.
I don't think that's happening.
Netflix style NES library.
Well, we're getting 20 games to play.
That's not enough.
20 Nintendo games, plus they're going to be adding more.
Not enough. No, I don't want to get back into that whole stupid virtual console thing where we drip feed 1 or 2 games a week, and 9 times out of 10 they're games that nobody cares about. I do not want to see a big release for Urban Champion again.
I doubt you will.
Really?
I doubt you will.
Do you?
I don't know.
It's happened twice already.
I'm not confident in my I doubt you will. But I don't think it's a bad sign. I think we're going to pay $20 a year mostly for cloud service and or cloud saves, and we'll get some cool NES games, and we'll play some Splatoon and Mario Kart Online, and that's all we need. There you go.
And Namava is in there saying Netflix NES so I can play every game for 10 minutes and never play them again. Yes, exactly that. Exactly that.
But that's pretty much what you have with the what they're doing.
Except
we don't know all the games that we're getting. Remember, maybe Urban Champion will be one of them. We'll see.
I almost guarantee it. Let's say right here, right now. What are we gonna? Let's bet. Is Urban Champion one of the games? And what are we betting? When are we going to find this out?
What do you want to bet?
Before we go down to Vegas?
It's before, yeah, it'll launch before we go to Vegas.
Right. I'll buy you a drink. There you go.
Okay.
I'll buy you.
Okay.
If
do you think
I'm right,
you're saying Urban Champion is going to be part of the online service?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it won't be.
Yep. And if I win, you have to drink whatever drink I buy you.
Okay. And same right back at you.
Yep.
Okay. Done.
Okay.
this
and we're gonna record it. We're gonna show you drinking it.
We're gonna record it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That sounds good.
I'll talk to Paul over there and see if he can come up with a terrible drink.
God, you're gonna get Paul
yeah.
involved in that.
Yeah.
It'd be terrible.
Yeah.
I've heard episodes of Ice Cream Social where he talked about
drink. Yeah, they were talking about a certain drink the other day that I think would be perfect. But I gotta go back and find the recipe.
It's bad. All right. Let's do this. We'll do this trio of tweets from Hacker Alias I finally watched. Next AAA release you're looking forward to most? Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yep. After that, probably Red Dead. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, Red Dead is definitely on there for me. Yeah, Forza Horizon 4. Those are probably the biggest ones. Oh, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I can't forget that.
Oh yeah, that comes out this month.
Those are probably the and Dragon Quest 11. My God,
so many games. I think
Life is Strange 2.
Maybe gonna skip Dragon Quest 11. I don't know.
It's coming out for Switch, right?
Eventually. Yeah.
I'm probably will go Switch on that one, just because then I know it'll be easy to pick up and play.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes at a time here and there. You all know what I'm talking about.
For a Dragon Quest game, that's good.
Yeah. When does it come out on Switch?
They haven't said. It's just TBD.
It'd be nice if it showed up before October, but
it's not. It's not going to.
I know.
It's not going to. All right, let's do this one also from Hacker Alias I finally watched, who said last current gen game you completed 100%. I don't think I have one.
I don't think I have one either.
I don't generally 100% games anymore.
Nope.
I just play them until I'm done and satisfied with it, and then that's it.
Generally, once I've seen an ending, it goes away and I'm done with it.
Same. Hacker Alias I finally watched also says best time you've had playing a game together.
I'll tell you what, playing Halo at the old office networked.
Yeah,
that was. Yep,
that was a thing.
I had a great time playing that, and we played it almost every night.
Yes,
for months. And I've had some good experiences playing games online. Have good experiences playing Sea of Thieves online, and had great experiences playing Burnout and Speed Devils with you.
Damn right.
It's not the same as being
You're
in a
right.
big group of people that are all playing together. Yeah, there's nothing like it.
Even in the same office. Like,
Yep.
that was
Yep.
super fun.
Yeah.
Blood Gulch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Team Deathmatch.
good times. Good times. Which is
So
why I can see,
good.
because I'm one of those people who, of course, hates GoldenEye,
Mm-hmm.
but I totally get why people love it. Because if you're one of those
Absolutely.
people that was like in college right around the time that that came out, and you and your dorm were sitting there playing 4-player deathmatch,
Yep.
creating stupid little devices like cardboard devices to split up the screen so you couldn't see each other's screens.
Yeah.
And yeah, I totally get why people liked it. I loved it even.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Hacker alias Rambus Dunk says, I bought the messenger for myself, but I let my kid play, and now it's pretty much his game save. Same thing happened with Mario Odyssey. I think I'm becoming my dad, and soon I will only play vicariously through my child. Can either of you relate to this dilemma?
Everything I know about Fortnite, I know from watching my kid play Fortnite. And I
Yeah.
probably will never play that. I enjoy Fortnite.
Sure.
I'm invested in Fortnite, and I think I've played it once.
Uh-huh.
But I watch him play, and he is so into the lore because with the seasons that like right now, there's this giant black cube in the landscape that's been moving, and it's got this force field around it, and like the whole rocket launch and the crack in the rift in the sky, and like all that stuff. I knew all about it when it was happening. I was super excited about it because he was super excited about it and would talk to me about it. But I've barely ever touched the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think my daughter is really old enough for that, but she plays Stardew Valley, and
Yep.
I played a little bit of Stardew Valley and liked it, but she is like way into Stardew Valley.
Yep.
And she was doing things in that I wouldn't have expected her to be able to parse
Mm-hmm.
out. But yeah, it's good. I can relate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Although when I play Sea of Thieves with Charlotte, anytime there's like another ship that comes up to us, or we're getting fired on, or we have holes in the ship, uh, I'll say, "Hey, Charlotte, you gonna repair those holes?" And she just like freezes when we get attacked, and doesn't do anything on the ship. It's bad. Anyway, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Adever 3456, who says, "What was the first game you ever rented? Mine was Gotcha for the NES."
I don't remember. I probably rented something. I know I did. I remember renting the original Mega Man very early on, but I know I rented games before that. I
Mm-hmm.
just I just can't remember what they were.
I think mine was either like Metroid or something licensed, like Back to the Future or something like that, like some game where I wouldn't have bought it. But I did rent Back to the Future and I hated it. And I was so glad I didn't buy it.
Yeah, I
But
mean, there'll be lots of those.
for a long time, I had only rented Metroid. I never bought it. And it was one of those games where you could just write down the password and rent it
Right.
again. And
Right.
you didn't have to worry about having a save game erased or anything like that. So,
It's so funny because when I was streaming yesterday, I forget who it was, but I had a bunch of my sort of regulars hanging out in the chat all day. And when I got to um, the PlayStation 2 Shinobi games, there were two. There was Shinobi and Nightshade released on the PlayStation 2.
mhm.
And of course, when you start, you get the warning about needing a memory card and making a save in there.
Yep.
And somebody mentioned, it's like, oh man, remember memory cards? Today's kids will never know what it was like. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, today's kids, like, memory cards were totally like the greatest thing in the world
Oh,
when they
yeah.
came out. Because before that, those days kids would never understand the whole idea of renting something like a Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And if you don't finish it when you rent it, you lose your game because
You're
there's
not
no
finishing it ever.
it. Yeah. It's like, which is why you stayed up for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And yep. But anyway, it was kind of funny.
Indeed.
Yeah, I don't remember the earliest game rental I ever did, but I know Mega Man was one of the early ones.
I definitely rented Mega Man games as well. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias, Rich Grisham, who says,
Grish Richam.
if you were looking to do a small buildup of a GameCube collection, no more than 10 games, what would your must-have titles be?
All
My
right,
son and I are investing in our GameCube collection a little bit.
I made a list,
Okay, let's hear it.
but it's 12 games.
Uh-oh.
But
Invalid.
you could probably get rid of a couple of them. Actually, I'll get rid of a couple of them. Beach Spikers. It's a great volleyball game.
Okay. Yeah.
F-Zero GX.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion.
Absolutely.
Metal Gear Twin Snakes, because it's just crazy, and you can't
For
play that.
his son, though?
Can't play that anywhere
Rich's-
else. Yeah, I have already taken out. I took out Eternal Darkness, so I'm leaving Metal Gear in.
Okay.
Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
Pikmin 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Sega Soccer Slam.
Uh-huh.
It's awesome. Skies of Arcadia, if he wants to try an RPG.
Good one.
Right?
Yeah.
And Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2.
I'm surprised you don't have Wave Race.
I already told you Blue
In there.
Storm sucked.
Wave Race Blue Storm is excellent.
Sucked.
So excellent.
Sucked.
And Paper Mario 1000 Year Door.
Oh, God, I missed Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't
That's
miss
a
that one out.
fantastic
That is
game.
the best. That is a fantastic RPG. I also didn't include Mario Sunshine or
Yeah, Mario Sunshine. Double Dash.
I also
Mario
did. I wasn't crazy with Double Dash.
No? Yeah.
And I didn't include Wind Waker because Wind Waker's been re-released a couple times.
Wind Waker. Yeah, if Wind Waker HD comes out on the Switch, check that out. Because
Yeah, I mean,
Wind
I
Waker
feel like
is such a good game.
yes.
Such a good game.
But I want to throw some non-obvious stuff in there, but
I can't. I like your list. I can't remember any glaring errors except for Wave Race Blue Storm, which is a fantastic game. All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Scoop Jessica, who says, I'm someone who always sets both the x-axis and y-axis to inverted. I noticed on Greg's 12-hour Shinobi stream, he seems to prefer inverted X, but not Y. Most of my gaming friends either play like Greg or play non-inverted. Am I the only one who inverts both X-axis and Y-axis?
First of all, hi, Scoop Jessica. Scoop Jessica and Scoop Joey support my stream a lot.
So, and they're awesome. We met them last year at Scoop Fest, and
yes,
I imagine we'll see them again this year.
Bringing Scoop Jessica a coffee crisp this year.
Okay.
It's the y-axis that I prefer inverted, the up and down, right? I have that right, don't I? The y-axis is the vertical
Yeah,
axis.
that's right. Yeah.
I prefer that inverted and more flight control. But yeah, the x-axis I don't like, which is weird because like 20 years ago, I preferred everything inverted because it felt like I was controlling the camera, like the way the camera moved, not where it was pointing, but the way it was swinging. Now, man, I can't have the x-axis inverted. I can't figure it out. My brain won't figure it out.
Yeah, there are some games where I invert the control, and yeah, it's the y-axis also. I can't remember. It's normally like flight sims, so it's like Sky Odyssey or whatever. Like if it's not inverted, it just feels wrong.
If you're flying, it should be inverted.
Yeah,
the y-axis should be inverted.
Yeah, y-axis.
That's just math.
Inverted on flight games. Otherwise, I get very confused. But regular games, I don't invert at all. Yeah, that's my answer. But I certainly appreciate having those options in there, just in case. All right,
my children do not do inverted. They can't stand inverted y-axis.
Really?
They also haven't played as much Wing Commander as I've played. So,
yeah, I wonder if it's because we played flight games back in the day that did not allow you to change it.
Could be.
We got used to that because I played Pilot Wings, and I'm not sure if Pilot Wings allowed you to do.
I've never played a Pilot Wings game.
Never? Oh man, I got super good at Pilot Wings 64. I got gold medals and everything in that game. And Sky Odyssey is one of my favorite PS2 games.
Good game.
That's a fantastic game. and played inverted in that too. Alrighty. Let's wrap it up with this one, and we will have done like all the tweets that we got this week by wrapping it up with this one from Clickbait, who says, "What fall release are you happily going to be skipping, and which one will you be sure to get on day one?"
I'm happy to be skipping Assassin's Creed, and man, I mean, Forza, I'm definitely getting day one, but that's one of a few that I really, really, really want to get day one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably skip Assassin's Creed and probably Tomb Raider also.
Ouch.
Yeah, I haven't even played the second
You're missing out.
I think it's free on Game Pass right now.
You should play it. So
I
good.
should play it. You're right.
Take a week off work. Go play it.
No. If I take a week off work, you know what game I'm playing.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even have to say it. And let's see. Be sure to get on day one. I'm probably getting. I'm definitely getting. Obviously, Spider-Man. I'll get Red Dead on day one. Also, I'll download Forza Horizon 4 on day one. Looking forward to that. But it's so on Game Pass, so I don't even have to buy it. I'll be ready to go on day one. In between Sea of Thieves.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right. And I think that's it. I think that's where we're ending it.
That's a show. Oh God, I have to do the second part of the outro, don't I?
Yeah, you do. This time, don't forget the Scoop Fest stuff. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, maybe you can direct all of that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find Generation 16 episodes from Mr. Greg Seward.
Still working.
Yeah. What else will you find? You'll find show notes and links of the things that we talked to on the show. Like if we were talking about a game and you missed it, it's probably linked to in the show notes. And you can find that at player1podcast.com/ and then whatever episode number you want, this one being 617. You type that in and you get right to the show notes. What else we got? We got a Discord server as well, where you can chat with us and other listeners about all sorts of things. And if you're the old school type of person who prefers a message board, we got one of them too. And you could discuss this episode with us and our other listeners right there.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by going to player1podcast.com.
Yeah.
Or the Apple Podcast Store app.
Yeah. Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to support the show, one of the ways you can do so is by downloading our Player One Podcast app from the Apple iTunes Store or the Google Play. What is it?
Android,
Amazon App Store. That's what I said.
Cheap.
Wow. I didn't even say the price, but okay. Also cheap. Both $1.99. Cheap on your favorite. Also cheap on your favorite devices. Also cheap. There you go.
All right.
You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us on Spotify.
Yeah.
You can find us all kinds of places, all over the internet.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get your podcasts from. And if you want to watch us live, you can do so by going to youtube.com/P1Podcast, where we normally record and broadcast at 8 p.m. Eastern.
True.
Every Sunday night, although we did start earlier tonight.
We did, thankfully.
Yes, but normally 8 p.m. Eastern, we broadcast live on YouTube.
YouTube.com/P1 Podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter at P1 Podcast. And what else? I think that's it.
Patreon?
Yes. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/P1 Podcast if you would like to support the show. The show, of course, will always be free. However, it's not free to produce. It's not free to host. Any help that our wonderful listeners can give us goes a long way to keeping the lights on And also, I know Phil makes a joke here, but also helps pay for things like, every now and then the hosts get some games that they can talk about, or
It's true.
sometimes we go to events.
Yeah.
That super helps. And if you are a patron backer, sure. You get access to the after show.
That's right. A whole bunch of fun quizzes. Usually about a half hour extra of content a week.
Yes.
Yeah. This week we're not doing a quiz.
No, because there's only 2 of us and CJ cheats.
Because there's only 2 of us and I'm going to win. Instead, we're going to be discussing some of the games and things that came out in September 1998. So 20 years ago. This is the cover of EGM back then in Metal Gear Solid. We're going to be talking about stuff in this issue of EGM.
And finally, the main thing that I was reminded not to forget, Scoop Fest is coming up in October. And we're going to be attending
October 12th through the 14th with the VIP night on the 11th.
There you go. And we are going to be there. We're going to be attending again. Thank you to the guys over at the Ice Cream Social who run Scoop Fest. They've asked us to come and record another live show, which we did last year. So we'll be live on stage at Scoop Fest.
Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada.
Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. And if you would like to attend, when you're buying your tickets, we got a code for you.
It's not exactly. You can get a nice discount by going to heyscoops.com/player1.
That's exactly right.
And that's a discount on Scoopfest tickets themselves. And then if you book your hotel at the Orleans Hotel and Casino, you can use this particular code to get a nice discount there.
A8ICC10. What is that code, CJ?
A8ICC10.
There you go.
Yes.
Please come on down. It's a great time. The Scoops are lovely people. It's a big party. The Ice Cream Social guys do it right. So, and we're just one of a bunch of podcasts there that also includes Ice Cream Social, Penn Sunday School is another one as well. Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great time.
Pod therapy.
Good people, good food, good drinks, good
Geek
fun.
Shock.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Please, if you're nearby the area or you have the money to go, highly recommended.
Night Attack.
Yep.
I'm just going to keep mentioning podcasts.
DJ.
Yes.
Thanks for showing up and hosting again this week, man.
Well, thank you, Greg, for recording a little bit earlier tonight.
No problem.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, sure. Bye, everybody.
I love my brown curtains.